Nothing says spooky Halloween like a giant robot with the brain of a hot dog, right? Hey toy fans, I'm here with another October toy review, and this time kind of less monster, more just robot. Most people don't think of robots as being kind of a Halloween thing, but for me, I do. And the reason why is several years ago, I'd come across a whole run of cups. One of which is, this one was The Mummy. So it's like kind of classic movie posters that were put on cups. And I came across this one that I absolutely loved. And it was Attack from Outer Space. And there's a giant robot on it. And it's got some people running. And ever since then, I've always kind of, around this time, like, watch snippets of Iron Giant or watch some of these like 50s style sci-fi movies along with my other Halloween movies, because it just, to me, it kind of fits together. So my giant robot monster is actually Dome Diddy Dome from Massive Monster Mayhem. So we have looked at Massive Monster Mayhem before with the hammer. That's the one where my kid hit me in the head with the giant hammer. But this is, instead of a role play, this is an actual action figure, and they had a few of these. I absolutely in love with this look and this design. So it does remind me a little bit of Iron Giant, and also some of the kind of brain robots that we got from Fear Agent. If you've never read Fear Agent, it is an amazing series. So we're going to be checking out Dome Diddy Dome today, which is an interesting name. But before we get in that review, be sure to like the video below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Comment down below as well. I love chatting with you all, and hit that bell for notifications. So what do you say? Let's get into it. Alright, and this is our Dome Diddy Dome from the Massive Monster Mayhem run. And this was by Alpha Group Toys. So this is a part of this Smackable action figures, or the kind of beat 'em up, rough 'em, tough 'em action figures. And I believe that they had 3 in all. Now it says it has this try me feature here where you shake it, and there's a magnet holding 1 of 3 items up. Right now he's got a hot dog for his brain. He also has a cherry pie or a cell phone. Now Dome Diddy Dome comes, pretty much open in the package. He's held down by these little wires, but he's out and available for you to kind of touch and feel. His blaster, however, is held off in a plastic wrap. On the back of the package, you got this nice kind of printout of a city, and this cool kind of grid thing to kind of simulate the dome held over on the moon where this city belongs. Now, let's head to the back. On the back, we get an actual picture of what Dome Diddy Dome looks like in the TV show. We get a nice breakdown of the action figure here. It says we can shake to change. Has a blaster that launches dual rockets. And then we see collect them all, and we get to see 2 of the other figures within the line. Now that's the back, and that's all it's going to tell us on that one. So let's get back to the front. Now the only other key things that we'd see is on the sides there's an actual picture of Dome Diddy Dome from the show. But that's it. Other than that, that's the package. And the package is going to tell us anything else about this. We need to get it off and start to playing. Now outside of the package, Dome Diddy Dome looks like this. And he probably stands good, 7 to 8 inches tall. He's a fairly big figure and feels like a chunky figure. Points of articulation on this actual action figure. He's got ball hinged shoulders. He has hinged elbows. But though there is a little bit of stoppage right there because of that arm joint. Ball hinged arm over here. And keep in mind, these ball hinges are very, very stiff. Hinged elbow. He actually has an ab crunch as well that helps his middle rock, but no waist turning. He has ball hinged hips, and he has hinged knees. There's no articulation in the head because of the play feature there, so that's not something we're going to need to worry about. He does come with this snap-on rocket launcher. So he's got this launcher that fits onto his arm, and even though I know it's not a one-time fit, That is a pretty stiff thing to get back off. And in the TV show, he actually does have arm cannons on him. Now, with that, he has 2 orange rockets, and they fit right into his launcher. 1 and 2. And then, of course, for firing for this, we've got, let's see, 1. Oops, it doesn't want to engage. Is that one in all the way? And 2. That was a bit of a rough launcher right there. I know the first one launches very well. The second one, acts like it doesn't really want to give up. Now, the main play feature of this action figure actually has to do with that dome. So, let's check him out. Right now, he has a hot dog. He also has a cell phone for a head. Oh, hot dog again. Rawr. Nothing like being controlled by a hot dog, huh? And then, of course, you just kind of shake them in there so you can get out. And then the last one, the pie, though. Well, it looks like my pie is kind of stuck, so I might have to figure out a way to really bop that down to get it out of there. But the pie actually has a little cherry on it, and that cherry, as it stands out, makes it like it has a little bit of an eye, so that's kind of a fun one to have. Okay, there we go. I got it fixed. It took a minute, but I got them fixed. So all in all, I think that this is a fun little action figure. I'd have to admit that, the joints being kind of stiff is a bit of a downer, and the fact that out of all the series, this is the only one I really want, because I like, giant crazy robots that have fun little features about them. To me, I feel like this is the selling point out of the line. And I know that the other figures, for those who do like Massive Monster Mayhem, the other figures are also just as cool. But I feel like this, for me, design-wise, was the high point. I love the coloring of him, even though that he doesn't match the coloring of the TV show, because the TV show has got it where it's very grayed in tone. I happen to like the blues and oranges and bright reds, and it reminds me very much of a comic book, which is, kind of what I like to see. I like to see the crazy over-the-top shoulder pads and the rivets and the extra little designs and the grills. To me, this is a fun figure and well worth the price when you go out and find them. Now, I ended up getting mine on Amazon for, I think, pretty cheap at the time, and I know that you can still find them out there, even though the Massive Monster Mayhem has pretty much been removed from shelves at this point. If you ever get a chance to watch the show, definitely watch it, but be prepared to, see a lot of craziness that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it was something that was on Nicktoons and Facebook family for a while. I absolutely love the play feature of the different food items that come in on the head. I think it's pretty neat. It is a little aggravating sometimes to get the one that you want. So it's not like, flipping through and getting, hey, I want a hot dog or a cell phone or a pie this time. You really kind of have to move them around and kind of flip the item in there, and it's not the easiest thing to do. It is held up by a magnet, so sometimes if you're playing rough with it, it's going to fall back down. You're going to end up with just a gray stem for a head until you push another item back up in there. With that being said, it's also easy to get that pie stuck in the head, and it takes quite a bit of popping on the top of that dome to get the pie to come down. But I will have to admit, as much popping and hitting this toy as I did, it held up pretty good. So this is definitely one of those, I think we call them toy bangers, where you can take the toy and smash it with another toy, and it's going to hold up fairly well. All in all, the toy is pretty hefty. And when I say hefty, I mean it feels like it's got a bit of solid weight to it, which is good for, little kids who like to play rough with their toys. For collectors, it's going to feel probably a little stiff, which might be good to have up on your shelf. Me personally, I'll have it on my monster shelf because that's where I want them to go. The only downside I had of this figure actually came with that launcher. I think the launcher is a little oversized for his arm, which is a little weird. I'm going to keep mine on there. But I'm really disappointed that second rocket doesn't really want to fire off, and it kind of fires off on its own after the first one's fired, and it doesn't really work on button command, which is not a good sign. As I said before, I found mine on, I think I said Amazon, but I actually found it on eBay, but I believe you can find a listing for it on Amazon as well. You just kind of have to get a look at the second market sellers because these are no longer on store shelves. And if you do, you might be able to find a few second hand type stores or stores that take old retail items and sell it for fairly cheap, like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, that sort of thing. So you might actually find them out there in the wild or online. If you happen to go and look for this one, good luck with the toy hunt. This episode of TayRayGun was sponsored by Marvin Dog Media. To learn more about Marvin Dog Media, visit www.marvindogmedia.com. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below to let YouTube know that you like what I'm making. And be sure to hit that bell notification so you get updates to future content.